All right, welcome back to Minority Emotions, the podcast. I'm your host, Herc. Today is going to be my first ever virtual interview. I'm interviewing somebody who's dear to my heart, somebody who matters a lot to me, who's been a big inspiration to my life and an inspiration to a lot of people's lives across the community, across the U.S. I'm super honored to introduce this guy. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, as usual, go ahead and follow the podcast on Instagram at Minority Emotions underscore VDP and on TikTok at Minor Emotions the podcast. And you can follow us on Snapchat as well at next level underscore Herc. Still working on getting a Snapchat that's strictly for the podcast. So let me go ahead and get him on the call, get him introduced, and we get started with the podcast. Okay.
Yo,
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Hey guys, so I got Dominic Rodden here with me. Uh, Man, the man, the myth, the legend, man. Mr. Piloter himself. How you doing today, man?
Doing well. Can't complain, man. God is good.
Hey, can you do me a huge favor real quick? Because I don't know what happened with your camera. I think it flipped again.
I got you.
All right, man. Before we get into it, man, first, congratulations on your newlywed.
Thank you. Thank you.
And first, let's take it back to the beginning, man. First, how old are you?
Phew, I am 28 now.
28.
28.
I think when we met, you were what, like 23?
I was 2018.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was probably like 23, going on 24.
All right. And now you're from Northern California, correct?
I'm from the Bay Area. Yes, sir. Small town called Vallejo.
Yeah. But now you currently live on the East Coast in North Carolina. Tell me about that. How'd you end up in North Carolina?
Man, so growing up in Vallejo, small town, it was like definitely kind of rough. But my grandparents tried to really keep me like sheltered and safe. My grandma especially. So she saw me kind of getting influenced by my cousins and everything like that. I would go play football with them and like kind of I was around the wrong crowd, but I was with my family, so like I was safe. But she saw that I was influenced, and she saw like that could kind of go one way or the other. So she was like, you know what? I want better schooling. I want him to get a better, education and get more involved in sports. So we moved across the country when I was 14 years old. We moved from that small town to Fayetteville, North Carolina.
And you know, it's crazy too because we kind of got like a similar story in that aspect because I was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, which is crazy. And then
Well, that's wow.
yeah, and then I consider California, Stockton to be home, but I also
Yeah,
grew up as well in North Carolina, in the Fayetteville area, but not actually Fayetteville. I grew up in Harnett County. Um,
me too, bro. Yeah, same
yep.
place.
Oh man, what school you graduated from?
Western
Huh?
Western Harnett High School, bro.
Them Eagles?
The Eagles, boy. We was
Uh,
really we
it's
was not like that.
Yeah, you're not, man. It's all about them Jaguars over here.
Oh man, that was a rival school for real. Overhills was definitely that school though, growing up.
Yeah, yeah, it was super nice. But you know, fun fact about Overhills is Overhills is actually designed after a prison.
That makes a lot of sense, bro. That makes a lot of sense because the way y'all play football was like y'all just got out. It was like these kids just got out, like they fresh out of jail. I was like, damn, playing like
But
crazy.
so growing up, how was growing up in Fayetteville for you? Were you with both your parents in Fayetteville?
So I was with my grandparents, man, all my life. So the town I was in was like Sanford, Fayetteville, but like people know it's all in the same area, right? It's like 20 minutes away. So I grew up in Harnett County, and it was a huge culture shock. I'm talking about tractors, military people. It was a lot slower of a lifestyle. In California, I couldn't even wear certain colors to school because it was always a risk of like gang stuff. I remember when I was playing basketball as a kid in like middle school, these kids that I was, growing up playing basketball with, they was like, "Hey, yo, Dom, like, do these hand signs, like, do say these things, so that way, like, you could be one of us." And I'm over here like, "Yeah, like, I'm trying to be cool," not knowing what it was. I go home and show my grandma. She's like, you ain't going back to play over there," because I was over here. I think I got into a gang. I didn't even know what I was doing, but just from that lifestyle to going to North Carolina, it honestly it saved me, man. I met so many amazing people. I got really involved in sports and really picked up on my academics. And I mean, because of the people that I met out here, I am the man I am today.
Okay. So how was it growing up with your grandparents versus growing up with your actual mom and dad?
So I never grew up with my actual parents. My father was in prison most of his life. And then when I knew him and like kind of hung out with him more, he got sick. He got diagnosed with leukemia, and then he passed away when I was 9. And then my mom, same thing. She was like, bounced around houses, never really had like a stable house, and was never able to actually be a mom. So she stayed with with her parents, and she was in Santa Rosa. So I never got to see her, and she passed away in 2017. So I was always raised by my grandparents. Like they made sure that I was safe. They took care of me, and they guided me in the right direction. So they were tough on me for sure. They had a lot of different rules and different systems, but I think for the most part they helped me, one, be my own person, and they always believed in me, and two, my grandmother was very faith driven. So like she was always talking about God and really introducing me to that lifestyle.
So do you think that growing up in a household with your parent or grandparents, um, what's the question I'm trying to ask you? Do you think that growing up with your grandparents and having that religious background, do you think that gave you like the foundation to become the man that you are?
100%. I mean, it gave me purpose. Like it introduced me to faith. And I don't think I ever did not believe in God, but I didn't really build my own relationship until I was like 25. But growing up and with my grandma having different health issues, she always believed, she always prayed, and she always was like setting the example. And then my grandfather, who was such a wise man, and he always taught me about staying humble, being a man of your word, and making sure that you're just like a good person. And if you do good things will happen for you, but not to do that just to get exposure. Just do it because it's the right thing to do. So he was big on that.
Okay. And okay, so growing up, just to move away from that for just a quick second. Growing up, did you play sports and stuff? I know you said you played basketball and stuff like that. I'm guessing like outside, but did you play like for schools and stuff like that?
So I did baseball, football. I did track and field in high school. Basketball, like growing up as a kid, but I was really good at baseball, and I really was passionate about like shot put and discus in high school.
And what did you do in track and field?
Shot put,
I'm about to say,
shot put,
I
and
know you were running.
I was running. I'm fast, bro. I'm very fast.
All all short people think we fast. This is because our feet move fast.
Come on, man. We close to the ground. We gotta do something. You better
I,
be fast.
I only say that because I ran track too, and I used to think I was super fast, and I was fast, but the amount of work that it took me to cover the distance it took somebody who's taller was
Yeah,
way more, and
way
so
different.
I ended up being better at long distance like running versus doing.
Right.
Right now, I'm probably better off at no running.
He said short intervals for real.
You talking about an interval run on the treadmill? That just like 30 seconds.
45 on a good day.
I push the limits. So did you play sport? You play sports all the way through high school? And did you go to college?
I went to Livingstone for a little bit, but I didn't actually finish college. Something happened with my scholarship. I ended up coming back home to Fayetteville. Then I was going to Fayetteville Tech, and then I just graduated from massage therapy school. So I never actually finished getting my bachelor degree.
Oh, okay, okay. Uh,
Yeah.
well, congrats on getting your massage therapy therapist license. How was that?
It was different, man. It was something that I wanted to add under my belt. It never was like a dream of mine, but once I got into the program and I saw like how beneficial it was, and that I'm able to actually work hands on with people and expand in that career, I was like, you know what, this is actually pretty good, and I can do a lot with this.
Okay. Now, so we are going to get into some real personal stuff eventually here shortly. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
right now, just getting the basis of who you are. So tell me something about like when you were a child that like is most memorable that probably besides your grandparents that kind of like shaped you into the man that you are today.
Hmm. Like any age.
Yep. Any age, something as an adolescent or as a minor, as somebody younger, a kid, something that happened to you that shaped you, that changed you, like a moment, something that made you pivot and become the person who you are now.
Hmm. This is probably probably be like kind of sad and deep, but like whenever my father passed away when I was 9, like that really changed me. Like I remember being a kid, and that was my first introduction to death. Right? It's like I had a father, but I was raised by my grandparents. They wanted me to get to know him more, and he wanted to be in my life, but he was, just experiencing his own stuff, and then got sick. And then when he passed away, I was so like shook. I was like, man, I we have all this time, we had all these hobbies together, and now he's gone. Like I just had to deal with it. So that moment in my life, I either had two decisions: one, for it to break me and for me to get like upset and just go down this path of like this chip on my shoulder, or I was like, you know what, I want to make him proud. And I think there was a time in my life when I saw him, like, he couldn't walk. He was like pretty much bedridden. I remember seeing him, like he was almost like a vegetable. And I saw him, I was like, you know what, no matter what happens, one day I want to make sure that I can help someone who's going through something like this, because I know what it feels like to watch your father just go through this horrible disease and these treatments that are taking like his body to like ground zero. And I want to be able to make a difference and actually do something, because I felt so helpless and I didn't like that. And I think that moment I had to make a decision of who I wanted to be.
Do you think that so I mean, I assume that the like your RSL brand, coaching, and just the community of powerlifting is probably one the loss of your father is probably something that driven pushed you into all that, huh?
My goodness, man, it pushed me so much. That was like the pivotal moment in my life as like 9 years old. And then of course other things happened, but that's been my driving force since as long as I can remember, because I always wanted to make him proud, but do it in my own way. I didn't want to be a replica of my father. I wanted to be better. So that's been like my motivation and my passion, but to make sure that I tell his story as well as my own along the way.
All right. So how did you get into fitness? Did you start off in like everybody else do start off in bodybuilding and then find
Yeah.
power?
Yeah, man. So fitness was like a therapeutic outlet. Before I knew what therapy was, I needed something to like get rid of all this emotion and this anger. Like I had all these different things, and I just knew that like it wasn't healthy. So I did sports, I did all these things, but what I found out was I actually enjoyed the process more than the actual sport itself. I was like, oh, the gym is fun. Like I exhaust my body, I can let go of all these emotions, and I feel better after. So it started off with sports, and then I started enjoying like going to the gym more, and then that passion and that love has never died either. I just kept going, kept pursuing these goals, and I saw that it was never ending, and the results speak for themselves. Like you can tell when someone puts in a lot of work into their craft, because their body, their mindset, their discipline is going to show that.
So how did the RSL brand come up? Like how did you what got you into that? Like how did you come up with the name and all that kind of stuff?
So Rise and Shine lifestyle, right? So it's RSL. That's after my father. So my father had an album, and it was gonna be called Rise and Shine, because he did music. He was a rapper. You feel me? I was supposed to be a little R&B singer when I was growing up, but I decided to pump iron instead. I was about to be on the stage with Baby Oil and all that, and I'm just kidding. uh, but yeah, no, we did music together. So that was actually my first passion growing up, playing guitar, piano. He raps, and before he was able to finish his first ever debut album, he passed away, and it was called Rise and Shine. So growing up, I always heard it. He was always working on his album, and I liked what it stood for. He'd always be like, "Rise and Shine, let's go." Like he would always say that to me, and it just stuck. So I always wanted to incorporate that somehow in my life. I just didn't know how I was gonna do it. So I told myself when I was like 12, okay, I'm gonna get a tattoo whenever I turn 18. I got that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to put that on a shirt because I'm in the gym. I want to rep that. Like I want to, like, I was already calling myself Mr. Rise and Shine at like 16 and up. So that is always stuck. So I made a shirt, and when I wore it to the gym, someone was like, I like that. I want one of those. I was like, you want this shirt? I was like, I don't have any. This is like my only one. He said, if you make me one, I'll pay you money for it. I was like, all right, cool. Then I made him one. Then his wife wanted one. Then his friends wanted. Then that demand has never stopped. So just because of one person asking me in the gym, can you make me that shirt? Here we are now.
Now, what does RSL stand for in terms of your father? What did it stand for to him? Like what did it mean to him?
I think Rise and Shine was the reminder for him to like stay disciplined to his craft and make sure that he finishes what he started. Because I think he didn't really do well with that. I think his whole life was like him getting the different hobbies, habits, people, but he never actually stuck with one thing and saw it all the way through. So I think Rise and Shine was like one, a great debut album name, and two, it was like a reminder for himself to like stay committed to it.
Did you adapt those same like that same like mindset towards the RSL? Is that what it stands for you as well with the brand?
I think Rise and Shine to me now is just there's like so many layers. I feel like before it was like to build a legacy, then it became like a really, personal like mission statement for me. I think now it's just my life. I think it's just me trying to tell my story, and it also helps me stay grounded on where I came from, and that's like my family, and making sure that that young kid that saw his father go through those leukemia treatments and what's the chemotherapy, to make sure that he doesn't forget like who he does it for, and that he's here to help people get through those hard times, because I didn't go through all that for no reason. So I think that's what it means to me now, is like it's my reminder of like, don't forget where you come from and stay grounded in who you are and what you want to do in this lifetime.
I got you. All right, so man, look, man, we're at the part of the episode where we got to spin the wheel, man. You excited or are you nervous?
Ass, we already spinning the wheel.
Yeah, we yeah, we spinning the wheel, man. Uh,
Unload the clip.
so so this is the first time we're doing this on the podcast. And so pretty much the wheel consists of like 8 different topics that we could discuss. One of the topics on there, or one of the little sections on there, does have for me to spin the wheel. So if you get lucky, you spin it, it lands on that, then I'll spin it, and whatever it lands on, I'll
Yeah.
discuss. Okay. All right, you want me to spin it fast or slow?
Man, fast. Horses don't stop. They keep going. Come on now.
All right, man. I feel like you might get lucky, man.
That make my eyes hurt looking at this.
It
What it say?
says trauma and recovery.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so pretty much with trauma and recovery, just speak about some things that you've been through in life and how you dealt with them and how you got through them. Like some things that were like traumatic or life changing for you.
Dramatic and life changing for me, man. Uh. Hmm. I mean, losing my father at 9, then my biological mother in 2017, and then my grandma that raised me, she passed away in 2015 on my 19th birthday. So I lost all my biological family before the age of 21. And that was very, very hard, just mentally and emotionally. Like it just made me feel lost. Thankfully, I do have my grandpa, Pops, who is still alive, and he keeps me grounded, man. He's the reason why I am the man I am today, because we have such great conversations. He always is like very, very objective and loving with what he says and his responses. But all those things that happened to me, I don't ever feel like it was a punishment. I always felt like it's my story, right? It is my testimony. It is very heartbreaking, but I know that they're with me every step of the way. And going back to that kid, man, that kid just wants to make them proud and actually make a difference, because life is short. Things happen and life changes really fast. But I think if we can take each moment and be present and actually love the life that we're creating, you'd be surprised at where your goal and how far you'll make it in life at just being true to yourself and making sure that you don't lose like the foundation of like your character, being transparent, being honest, and just making sure that you're planting seeds everywhere you go, right? Like just doing something that's going to actually change someone's life versus just always trying to gain more and more.
Okay. Uh, so I wanted to transition a little bit into like your personal life a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
just kind of gain a little bit understanding and things that you've been through. Because we had, like I said, we've had like a similar story. Like I said, growing up in California, then moving to the East Coast, Fayetteville area to be exact. We
Yeah.
started off in bodybuilding, switched to powerlifting. Uh,
Hmm.
both have clothing brands. We have like a very similar story. We both we both are interracial dating,
Come on now.
all that kind of stuff. So for you, for somebody who just got married and you're a black man and your wife is a Caucasian, you guys
Hmm.
are in North Carolina. Have you
Yeah.
guys have during your relationship, have you guys experienced any kind of like I don't want to say like necessarily racism, but like any kind of
Backlash.
backlash, prejudice, or anything like that?
No, man. People kind of think that in the South it's crazy like that. I mean, there are certain areas that really do go on that heavy, but I think for us, we have not experienced anything like that, except we've experienced a lot of love and support. Maybe that's just because of the times that we're living in, but no, I have not really had any bad experiences with being in an interracial relationship.
All right. And I know you don't have kids, but you do now have a stepdaughter, so congrats on that. And
Yeah, thank you.
that being a stepdad or a step parent or just being a boyfriend, girlfriend to somebody who has kids already is a difficult thing.
Mhm.
Um, now, how
Yeah,
how's that relationship developing? Like, I know it's kind of like one of those things where you got to kind of like take it real slow, and so how are you dealing with that?
yeah. Honestly, I love it. I love the opportunity to even be a stepdad to have that role. Because I was raised by my grandparents, like I feel like I've always seen men step up in their life and do that. So I think it's only right that I am able to do that as well. And it's kind of like a full circle moment too. She is 16, so and she has her father in her life. So I'm not trying to replace anyone or overstep boundaries. If anything, I'm just trying to be another outlet and support system for her and be the man that she can also lean into and that I can pour into her.
All right. Um, oh, hold on one second. Um, do you feel like it's important for you to have a relationship with her father on any level?
Yeah, I think it's not as important. I don't think it's like a necessity, but I think it does help if we do see eye to eye and if there is some type of agreement or understanding. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's me, her mom, and her, right? And we have to make sure that we're building and cultivating our family experience as well and keeping that at the forefront. And whatever she has with him, make sure that's healthy and that they're able to grow in that way too.
All right. So what kind of advice would you give to another man who was thinking about marrying a woman who had children? What kind of advice would going into that? Because from what I can see, I mean, honestly, we've been a part of each other's lives for about 6 years now. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't been blessed to meet her yet, but I do see that you guys, ever since I've started seeing her on social media and hearing you talk about her, it's just been all good.
yeah,
Um, but I know there has to be some kind of struggles with it because I mean I've been through it. But what in
yeah.
your somebody who's going through it right now, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about dating somebody with children already?
Have that conversation. Have the conversation. Like, are you comfortable? Do you feel like you can do this? Because it is a lot of responsibility. Sometimes in that relationship, women might say, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal. You don't have to do this and do that." But like, you're gonna have to one of these days. Like, you got to make sure that you're ready to own that decision and what comes with it. Like, yes, you are dating her mom and you are pursuing her, but you also she comes with her. Like it's
Package.
not just a single package. It's yeah, like it's a full. There's not an understanding of like what's gonna happen because even though that person she may have her father or may not, you still have a responsibility to be something in her life, and that's up to you to step up and do it. And when it does happen, or if you are nervous about it, make sure that you are 100% ready to go all in. Because if you're not, then you're just gonna end up hurting everybody, and that's not fair to no one.
Right. So what kind of support system you got, man?
Man, my homeboys are really happy for me. My pops is super excited. He loves her. He's so happy to have her as a granddaughter, I guess. That's and I think the amount of love has been overwhelming because I'm on social media, but I like my personal life to be, private. It felt good to finally like open up and get people in there, but it made me happy to see like 130 people from all different like walks of life, from high school to now to, coach, like all these people to come there and like and celebrate that moment was beautiful. So the support has been crazy.
Yeah, I know, man. I was really hoping that I could have made it out there, but life happened, and I'll be out there hopefully
Yeah,
here to meet her and meet the family, and um, I guess I
same
guess
to you, man.
I guess I'll say my new family because you're my brother. So, um,
Yeah,
but
same, to you, bro. Congrats to you as well for having a baby.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I actually thought that I couldn't have kids no more, to be honest, and then here I got two back to back.
Come on, man. They're putting in
So,
work.
so tell me, when it comes to powerlifting, right? Um,
Yeah.
what keeps you going in powerlifting? Like, what keeps you going? Is it the personal goals that you have on the platform? Is it
Hmm.
changing lives through coaching? Is it the clothing brand? Is it the community? What about it, or is it all of it? Like, what about powerlifting keeps what in powerlifting keeps you showing up every day to keep competing in that sport?
I was just thinking about this the other day too. I want to say it's all of it, but at the root of it, at the heart of everything, I'm an athlete first, bro. I just love to compete. And mainly, I love to push myself. I'm very, very goal oriented. I have to have a challenge and I have to have something that I'm striving for. If I don't have anything, it's hard for me to stay disciplined. I kind of just get lost.
Yeah,
So, having that structure that comes with powerlifting actually helps me in the gym and in my day to day life because it keeps me like focused. So, if I don't have a goal, I kind of just wander anywhere, and I know me. I know how I am. So I think the chase of my own personal goals is what's keeping me, and also knowing that I'm able to impact people through coaching and have a brand. And it's like there's so many different layers and facets that come with it that I haven't even fully been able to see it all yet. But I know I'm planting seeds, and that one day it's all gonna pay off.
that's what it's all about, man. I agree. I think for me as well, it's my personal goals that keeps me going. But to be
Yeah.
at the same time, it's the community. Like I think we just had this conversation yesterday, and for me, it's like when I'm having a bad day, I know that if I when I go to the gym, that there's those people at the gym that's going to uplift me. They're going to give me their energy and let me take from their energy to make my day better. So I think it's a mixture of both. Um, I definitely prefer powerlifting over bodybuilding for sure. No disrespect to the sport of
Yeah.
bodybuilding. I talked about that on one of my earlier episodes about bodybuilding being a sport. But we're not here to
Yeah.
do. But I prefer it over it just because it's more enjoyable, right? And
For sure.
like we were speaking about before, is I think that people spend most of their time focusing on their passions, not their purpose, right? So with that in mind, what would you say is your passion, and what would you say is your purpose?
My passion is I just what is my passion? That's a great question. I think my passion is I love to challenge myself. Like I want to always win the day. Like that's been something that I've been really focusing on lately. Is like I want to make sure I'm not just winning online, but I'm winning in my life. And that doesn't mean like accomplishments and material stuff. It's like I want to make sure I'm being a better man. These things. And I know that like my passion is just progression. My purpose is I'm here to help people. So because I am able to pour into myself, it helps me pour from that abundance and give and be able to do more and help people see their potential in themselves and hopefully have them achieve everything that they have their heart set on because we all deserve to see where how far and where we can go in this life. And I think a lot of us don't have that type of friendship or that transparency because we're always so afraid. So my purpose is definitely to help people. I'm definitely here to in this lifetime to change the people around me and hopefully the world.
All right. So before we get into the closing, man, what do you think about the podcast?
I
Oh,
loved it, man.
before you answer that, I forgot the most important question. To
What
somebody
up?
to somebody who might be battling with anything like mental health wise or just having a rough day, um,
Yeah.
you encounter them or they reach out to you, what would be some advice that you would give them to like, keep going and to make it through that rough time?
I believe in community, man. It takes a village. I know it may be hard and sometimes we feel like we're all alone, but like someone out there needs your story. Someone out there in this world needs you. And I think if we can reframe sometimes what we're going through and realize that we have people that care about us and that we can reach out to someone and that we don't always have to be strong for ourselves, it kind of takes the load and that pressure off. And I know not everyone has that, but I think just being bold enough to say, hey, I'm hurting. I'm not okay, but I will be okay. And finding different outlets like therapy, um, journaling, finding different ways to express and get whatever is heavy on your heart out is going to help you be able to get that weight off and then move forward. But it takes time. It's easier said than done, but it is possible. So I would say find community, find people that you can trust. Get around individuals that bring the best out of you and find things that allow you to release that emotional trauma.
So my original question, what do you think about the podcast?
It was cool, man. I would definitely be back. You feel me? I might even fly out and be in person one of these days. I might just pop up
Hey, that's what
randomly,
I'm talking
you
about.
know? Yeah, pull up, pull up. But no, it was amazing. I love what you're doing. You're impacting so many people, man. And this is only the beginning. Like I've known you for so many years, and to see you tell your story and also share other people and give them a platform to hopefully inspire others is incredible. And we need more of that. We need more positivity, and that's why I believe in you and what you're doing.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. And man, we're definitely gonna have to have you back. But in the meantime, bro, I appreciate everything you're doing for the sport, for the community, for people around you. And man, you stay blessed, brother.
You too, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Love you, man.
Love you, bro.